When we were preparing to leave Saltergate, Alan Stevenson, who was in charge of the end of an era festivities, called me because he knew I'd got quite a bit of footage of matches played there over the years. I thought he just wanted the footage. What he wanted actually was somebody to look after the whole project and come up with what was eventually called the final whistle, which was a history of the recreation ground at Saltergate. I'd first gone there in the 1971-72 season. My grandfather was the chap in charge of all the programme selling, so he used to lift me over a turnstile. We'd go in, start sorting out the programmes. He'd then give me 10 to sell, and they were 5 new pence each then, and I'd stand at the foot of the wing stand stairs, and when I'd sold my 10, I'd take the what amount of 10 bob back to him, and I'd be on the enclosure ready for kick-off. So I've been going a fair while, and it was only by chance I started to get hold of some of the bits and pieces, particularly from the 80s and then from newsreels, and so was able to come up with some kind of a plan so that we could have a proper history on DVD of Saltergate. It wasn't actually that difficult to do, because all I did was pick out the sort of seasons or matches we would talk about, and got Phil Tooley and said talk about 1946-47, and off he went. There was no script, no discussion, he just did it, and then a chap called Andy Bean edited it down. Now for the last match at Saltergate, the Bournemouth match, I went with Andy Bean with the camera down to the Pomegranate, where I'd helped to put the stuff together for that event, and then we filmed the march up from the Toys Information Centre up to the front of Saltergate. And of course it was fairly early we got there, and the people were milling around, and we got a couple of people we had to interview inside, including Barry Hubbard. So we banged on the gate, and Andy Bean went in through the gate while I was chatting to somebody. I turned around and the gate had been closed. Now I'd not got a ticket. I'd of course got a ticket for the match, but because I was working on this camera job, I'd given it to somebody else. So I banged on the gate, and a steward eventually opened it and said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I'm filming." And he said, "No, we've already let him in." Luckily, the second attempt to get in, I showed him I'd still got some of Andy's kit, extra lenses and microphones and things, so he did eventually let me in. And so I was actually there for the last match, and not stood outside on Saltergate trying to peer over the gate. Now on Friday at 1 o'clock we're going to show the final whistle DVD in its entirety, live streamed on the Football Club YouTube channel, and that'll be 1 o'clock, and you can follow all that history and look at what we came up with to mark the passing of that grand old lady at the recreation ground Saltergate. Please join us.